Okay, so welcome my friends. Hello, my name is Jason Gorenstein and this is our live streaming yoga. Today is Friday, June or July the 30th, geez, I'm all off. July 3rd, 2020. The time is 9 a.m. Well, really about 9:05, between 9:05 and 9:10. So I am broadcasting you live. This is Facebook Live Yoga. So without further ado, let us begin. I'm going to find our way. Let's find our way onto our mats and let's begin in Child's Pose. So as you feel ready here, just begin to lengthen your fingers forward in front of you and release your hips down towards your heels and release the head all the way down towards the mat. See that the fingers are wide apart. Spread across the fingers here. And continue to release your head all the way down towards your mat. As you press down through your fingers, release the head on down and continue to allow that breath to become long and slow here. So press down the fingers, lift the inner arms up, wrap the outer triceps in. And as you breathe into the body, let that extension move into the back of the spine. Now seal down all 10 fingers. Inhale, peel up your chest. And on an exhale, as you tuck the toes underneath, float your thighs on back, downward facing dog pose. So downward facing dog pose, see that those fingers are spread wide apart. Continue to lengthen the heels back to the back of the mat. And as you breathe here, just continue to see that your legs are lengthening towards the back of the room and your arms are lengthening towards the front of the room. Feel both sides of the body elongating here. On an inhale, shift forward into plank pose. And as you exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog. On an inhale, shift forward into plank pose. And as you exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog. One more time, shifting your way into plank pose. Press those heels back, firm the outer thighs in, engage the core muscles here. And on an exhale, pressing back into downward facing dog pose. We're going to take the knees down to the mat and step the right foot forward in between the hands. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. And on an exhale, release the hands down to the mat. Press down through the left ball of the foot, float the right leg on back, and find your way back into your downward facing dog pose. Again, inhale, shifting forward into plank. Exhale, pulling back, downward facing dog. Inhaling into plank. Exhaling back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shifting into plank. Lower the knees down to the mat. Step the left foot forward in between the hands. Inhale, float the arms on up. So as you breathe here, press the right shin down. Inhale, floating both arms up and breathing here. And on an exhale, gliding those hands back down to the mat. Stepping your left leg back, shifting back into downward facing dog pose. So downward facing dog pose this time. We're going to walk the feet forward towards the hands. And we're going to inhale, coming up into a half forward fold here. As you exhale, hinge the hips and fold all the way down. Inhale, raise the arms up and over your head, lifting up through the fingers here. Fingers come to touch. And on an exhale, glide the hands back down into your sides. So as you inhale, float your arms up and over your head. And as you exhale, hinge at your hips and fold all the way forward. Inhale, floating through the chest here, lengthening up through the chest, heart, and sternum. And as you exhale, take your hands down to your mat and find your way back into downward facing dog. Shifting forward into plank, lowering those knees down to the mat, lowering the chest all the way down to the mat. Inhale, peeling up the chest, the heart, the sternum here. And as you exhale, pressing on back, downward facing dog pose. So again, we're going to step the right foot in between the hands, release the left knee on down, and float the arms up towards the ceiling once again. This time, take your hands, interlace them behind your back, and pull the fingers back behind you as you lift your chest on up. Inhale, float those arms back up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, glide your hands inside the leg and begin to release the head on down here. Tuck the left toes underneath, press the left thigh back. Keep lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum as you press down through your fingers and your right foot. Step your right leg back and again find your way into downward facing dog pose. So downward facing dog pose again, we shift forward into plank. And we press those hips on back and find our way back into downward facing dog. Lower the knees down to the mat. Step the left foot forward in front of you. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling as you lengthen through the chest. On an exhalation, glide those hands down to the mat. Before we do that, inhale, floating up. As you exhale, glide those hands back behind you and interlace the fingers here. Pull the fingers back behind you as you lift up through the center chest. Lift the arms up towards the ceiling. And on an exhale, take the hands inside of the left foot. See that the left thigh hugs in. See that the chest leans on forward. Tuck the right toes underneath and press the right heel back. Draw that right leg in. Draw the left leg in and breathe here as you lengthen across the center of your chest. Good. So as you exhale, step the left leg back and find your way again into downward facing dog pose. Lower the knees down to the mat. Lower the chest down to the mat. And as you inhale, peel up your chest, your heart, your sternum here. Walk the hands back. See that the elbows hug in towards the sides of the body and allow the shoulder blades to move down the spine. As you tuck the toes underneath, press the thighs on back. Downward facing dog pose. So downward facing dog pose, stepping the right foot forward in between the hands. Spin the left heel down. As you inhale here, float the arms up into warrior one pose. Release the hands down to the mat. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Shift your way into plank once again and exhale back into downward facing dog. So once again here, first we plant our feet down and we see that our fingers are spread wide apart. Then we allow our legs to lengthen back to the back of the room. Now we step our left foot in between the hands and spin the right heel down. Inhale, float the arms up as you move into warrior one. And on an exhale, glide those hands down to the mat and step your left foot on back. Shift forward into plank pose. And exhaling back into downward facing dog. Good. Lower your knees down to the mat. Interlace your fingers here. Press your forearms down. And inhale, lift the legs on up. So this is called dolphin's pose. And as we take dolphin's pose here, walk the toes in. See that the heels are pressing on back. See that you're wrapping your outer triceps in as you lengthen your chest on forward. Now walk the feet on back and find your way into plank pose. So take those heels back, lift the inner legs up, and breathe here. Hug the belly in and absorb the frontal ribs. Lower those knees on down. Press down through the palms. Inhale, peel up the chest. Exhale, float the thighs on back. Downward facing dog pose again. So we walk the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lifting the chest all the way up. And as you exhale, hinge those hips and release the spine all the way down to the mat. Take the arms, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Let the fingers touch here and release the palms down and at the sides. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Take the fingers over towards the right hip, interlace, and draw the right ear over to the right shoulder. That's it. Inhale back to center once again. Glide your fingers over to the other side. And this time glide your left ear over to your left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Raise those fingers up towards the ceiling. Interlace them. And as you exhale, forward fold all the way down to the mat. As you inhale, peel up the chest, heart, and sternum. And as you exhale, take the hands down to the mat. Walk the feet back. Shift forward into plank pose. Lower those knees all the way down. Lower the chest all the way down. Inhale, peel up chest, heart, and sternum. And as you exhale, press down through those hands. Float the thighs back into downward facing dog pose. Again, step the right foot forward in between the hands. Spin the left heel down. Inhale, warrior one pose here. Straighten across that right leg. So bend into that right knee once again and release the hands on down. And inhale, lengthen the chest on forward as you shoot the right leg on back. Shift forward into plank. Lower down halfway, pause. Inhale, peel up the chest, upward dog. Exhale, floating back, downward facing dog. And again, you step the left foot in between the hands, spin that right heel on down. Inhale, float the arms up. And as you exhale, straighten that leg. Inhale, bending that knee. And exhale, releasing those hands. Shoot the left leg back behind you and find your way into plank pose. So as we take plank, lower the knees on down and float the left leg back behind you. Inhale, lift the left leg up and spin the left outer thigh in. Take the right hand this time, glide it forward in front of you, and hug the belly into the chest as you lengthen through the left foot and the right hand. Lower the right hand down, lower the left knee down. Inhale, float the right leg up and back, and then take the left arm forward in front of you. Spin that left outer arm in, and keep lengthening through the right inner leg. And on an exhale, lower left palm down, lower the right knee down here. Press down through the fingers, float the thigh bones up, downward facing dog pose. And continue to lift those forearms up and continue to press those thigh bones back. Walk the feet on forward. Inhale, lift the chest here. And as you exhale, hinge at those hips and come into a forward fold. Inhale, spin the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana pose. And as you exhale, take the hands back and interlace the fingers back behind you. Press down through the feet, pull the fingers back behind you. Inhale, lift the chest up. And as you exhale, hinge the hips and wrap your outer triceps in. So see that that belly is hugging in. See that the chest is moving forward. And continue to release that head all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest on up. Interlace the fingers in front of you. Press your palms up towards the ceiling. And float your arms over to the right. Come back to center with that chest. And float your hands all the way over to the left. Come back to center with that chest. Look up and exhale, hinge on forward. Inhale, lengthen here. And exhale, take your hands to the mat. Walk your feet on back. And find your way into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, shift out forward, lower the knees to the mat, lower the chest all the way to the mat again as you release the head on down. Take the hands behind you and inhale, peel up the chest. Spin the outer arms in, press down through the left foot and inhale, lift the right leg on up. Good, as you exhale, lower the head down and lower the right foot down. As you press down through the right foot, inhale, spin the arms up and float the left leg up. So keep breathing here as you hug the outer arms in towards the chest. And exhale, lower on down. Take the hands to the side ribs, press down through the hands to lift the chest. And as you exhale, float your hips back into downward facing dog pose. Take your feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, peeling up the chest halfway. And as you exhale, hinge at those hips and release the torso all the way down. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the fingers. And as you exhale, glide the arms back down and out to your sides. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Pull the fingers down towards the mat. Inhale, float the arms up above your head as you rotate your outer arms in. And then as you inhale, float your chest on up. Interlace your fingers in front of you. Press your palms all the way up towards the ceiling and breathe here. Good. Take the hands over to your right and come back to center. And take the hands all the way over the left and come back to center. And release the hands down to the sides as you lift that chest on up. All right. So from here, once again, we're going to step our feet wide apart. And we're going to turn our feet over towards the right side of the room. See that your right hip hinges inward. See that your right hand releases down. And take the left arm up towards the ceiling as you roll the right shoulder in and underneath you. Lift up through the right side of the chest. Lift up through those left fingers. Press down through both feet and continue to breathe across the chest. Inhale, lift that left arm up, bend deeply into that right knee. And then as you continue to breathe here, lengthen across the fingers as you press down through the palms. Glide your right forearm onto the right thigh. Take your left arm extended up and over your head. So this is called extended side angle pose. And breathe here. Keep pressing down through your feet. Keep lengthening up through the chest. Inhale, float that left arm back up towards the ceiling and let that left arm lift us out. Straighten across that right leg. Take the hands, turn the feet in. Hands to the hips, turn the feet in. Spin the feet over to the other side and bend deeply into that left knee. As you bend into that left knee, glide the arms out to the sides and come back into Warrior Two. Warrior Two pose, straighten across the left leg. Hinge at the left hip. Place the left hand into the left shin. Brace the right hand extended up towards the ceiling. Keep reaching across the chest here as you press down through the feet. Inhale, float the right arm up, bend deeply into that left knee. Place the left forearm on the left thigh. Take the right arm up and over your head. And continue to breathe here as you lengthen across your chest. Inhale, float that arm up and lift yourself on up. Straighten that left leg, turn your feet in, and then as you exhale, release your head on down. Breathe here as you release the head down to the mat and just close the eyes. And continuing to breathe here, wrapping your outer arms in, firming in the belly, and continuing to lengthen the chest on forward. Glide the hands back behind you, interlace the fingers, take the arms up and over your head. And as you breathe here, continue to wrap your outer triceps in. Inhale, lengthening your chest, your heart, your sternum. Bring your hands to your hips. Spin your feet over to the right. Release both hands on down and walk your feet on back as you move into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog, shift into plank, lower those knees on down. Interlace the fingers here and press both feet back behind you. So see that those fingers are interlaced. Lengthen the tailbone on back and continue to breathe here as you lengthen your chest forward to the front of your mat. One more time, walk those feet on in and find your way into Dolphin's Pose. Dolphin's Pose this time, bend the left knee and lift the left leg up over the head. See that you press down through the right ball of the foot. See that you wrap your outer right leg in. Draw the left knee in and release that left foot on down. Right knee comes to a bend. Right leg extends on up. Right knee bends on in. And right foot releases on down. Bend both knees, release the feet down, and press your way on up. As you exhale, press your way on back into downward facing dog pose. And then as you feel ready here, walk the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lengthening the chest halfway up. And as you exhale, forward fold. Move off my mat. And then inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, glide the hands back to the sides. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Lift the chest on up. And then as you exhale, hinge at the hips and forward fold here. Wrap your outer triceps in, firm the belly in, and just see if you can release the spine all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lengthen up through the chest, the heart, the sternum, and raise your fingers up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, glide the arms back and out to your sides. Take your hands to your hips, step your feet together, and bring your left knee to a bend. Spin your left heel in, place your left heel on top of the right ankle, right shin. Draw the belly in, draw the left knee to a bend, and take the left foot into the right thigh. As you press the left foot into the right thigh, press the right thigh into the left foot. Hands come into the center chest here and float the arms up and over your head. Raise up through those fingers, the chest, the heart, the sternum. And then take your hands, glide your fingers back behind you and press your palms in towards one another. Draw your fingers on up and see that your fingers move in towards the shoulder blades as you draw the elbows down to either side of the mat. Release the hands on down, release the left foot on down. Right knee comes to a bend, spin that right heel on in. Bend the right knee here and place the right foot on the left thigh. Hands come to the center chest one more time. Then hands float up towards the ceiling here. Then hands come back behind you as you glide those fingers up your back. Now see that those fingers press into the spine as you lift the chest on up. And breathe here. Good. All right, from here, hands come to the hips. Lower that right foot on down. Inhale, float those arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, hinge at those hips again. Inhale, lengthening halfway. And as you exhale, walk the feet on back. Find your way into downward facing dog pose as you breathe here. So shift forward into plank. And from plank pose, lower on down. Lower the knees down, lower the chest down, and find your way all the way at your mat. And from here, interlace your fingers behind your back and take your arms back behind you. Lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum, and draw the pinky toes down towards the floor. So as you feel ready, lower that head on down. Take the hands down to the mat. Press down through the fingers, float the thighs up, downward facing dog pose. In downward facing dog pose, look between the hands and step your right foot forward. Spin the left heel down. Inhale, float the arms out, warrior two. From warrior two, straighten across the right leg, hinge at that right hip. Take the right hand down outside the leg, take the left arm up towards the ceiling. Spin the left outer hip down and revolve the left side of your chest up. Breathe here as you lift that left arm up and bend deeply into that right knee. Right elbow comes to the right thigh, left arm comes up over the head. And breathe here as you press through the left foot and extend all the way through the left fingers. Inhale that left arm up, glide back into warrior two, straighten across that right leg, and once again back to center. Turn both feet over the other side, bend deeply into warrior two. One more time, forearm comes to thigh, and right arm extends up over the head. Spin the chest up towards the ceiling, firm the left buttocks in and underneath you. Inhale, float the right arm up. Let that right arm lift us up to warrior two. Straighten across that leg, turn both feet into center, and then as you feel ready, forward fold here as you release the head on down. Interlace the fingers behind the back, pull the fingers up towards the ceiling, wrap the outer triceps in as you lift the fingers on up. Breathe here as you continue to wrap the outer arms in and lengthen the chest. Inhale, float the chest on up and interlace the fingers in front of you. Press your palms forward, lift the arms up, and come back into extended pose. As you exhale here, bring the hands down through center and lengthen the chest here. So glide the way from the heels to the toes. Bring your left hand forward in front of you. Inhale, float your right arm up towards the ceiling as you lift through the top of the chest. On an exhalation, release the right palm down and bring the right palm to center. Inhale, lengthen the chest, and take the left arm up towards the ceiling here. And as you exhale, glide that left palm down. Release the hands to the low back. Press down through the feet, lift the chest on up, and step the feet back together. As you step the feet back together, spread across the fingers here. Firm the outer arms in, lift up through the center chest, and breathe here. Inhale, float your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinging on down. Inhale, lifting up halfway. Take your hands back and then place your hands and walk your feet back into plank pose. Plank pose, lower those knees down. Lower the chest all the way down to the mat. Walk the hands back. See that the fingers turn in and lift the chest on up. Float the right leg up, float the left leg up, and turn the toes down. Keep lifting through the center chest as you breathe here. Good. And then as you feel ready, lifting the chest, pressing on back, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, stepping the right foot in between the hands. Spin the left heel down, inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Again, straighten that right leg, walk the right toes over, and find your way into warrior two pose. Right hand comes down to the mat, left arm comes up towards the ceiling. And breathe here as you press down through the feet and spread across the chest. Left hand comes to left hip, right knee bends, step the left foot in, step the right hand forward and lift the left leg on up. Turn the left toes down to the mat. Inhale, float the left arm up and over the head. Spread across the chest as you turn the left foot down. Bend deeply into that right knee. Release the left hand onto the left hip. And then inhale here, lift the chest on up, warrior two. Straighten across the right leg. Turn the feet in. Turn the feet over the other side and bend deeply into that left knee. Warrior two pose once again. Straighten across that leg. Hinge at that left hip and find your way back into triangle pose. So from triangle pose here, we're going to look forward down to the mat, and you'll place your right hand on the hip and bend the left knee to 90 degrees. Step the right foot in, step the left hand forward, inhale, float the right leg up. And as you float the right leg up, float the right hand up as well. Turn the right toes down, inhale, lift the right side of the chest up. Breathe here as you firm the left buttocks in and underneath you. Now bend that left knee, step that right leg back. Inhale, lift the chest on up and bend deeply into the left knee. Straighten across the left leg. Hands come to the hips. Step the feet together here. as you find your way back into Tadasana. So from Tadasana pose, let's begin to take our hands to our hips once again. Let's bend our knees to 90 degrees and inhale, float the arms up over the head. As you bend the knees, keep lifting the chest, keep lifting the heart and hugging the belly in. And as you exhale, hinge at those hips and fold all the way forward here. Take your hands to your shins. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the heart here. As you exhale, take the hands down to the mat, walk the feet back in downward facing dog. And downward facing dog pose, shifting forward into plank, lowering those knees on down. Stepping the right foot in between the hands, inhale, floating the arms up. As you exhale, glide the hands down, press the left ball of the foot down, inhale, float the left leg up. And as you inhale, float both arms up towards the ceiling as you lift through the chest. On an exhale, hands come down to the mat and step the right leg back. Downward facing dog pose once again, and just breathe here. So now, lower the knees down, step the left foot forward this time. Inhale, float the arms up. And as you exhale, glide the hands down to the mat and tuck the right toes under as you float the right leg up. Inhale, float both arms up as you lift through the chest again. And as you exhale, glide those hands down and step the left leg back. Shift forward into plank, lower those knees down, and lower the chest all the way down to the mat. And release the head down as you interlace the fingers behind your back. Take the fingers back, lift the chest on up, and breathe here as you float the right leg up. Float the left leg up and turn the toes down to the mat as you lengthen through the chest. And as you feel ready, release that head down and press down through the fingers. Float the chest up, float the thighs back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog pose, walk the feet forward, come up halfway. As you exhale, hinge at those hips and fold all the way down. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the chest. And as you exhale, glide those hands back and out to the sides of your body. Okay, so hands are on the hips once again. And we're going to lean forward to grab hold of the feet. You're going to grab your big toes here and release your head all the way down to the mat. So see that weight shifts forward from the heels to the toes. And then you'll take your left hand, place it on your left hip, and bend your left knee. Draw the right knee to a bend. Grab hold of the right foot. Inhale, lift the right leg up. And as you feel ready here, extend the right leg forward in front of you. Good. And then drawing that right knee, bringing it out to the side, and extending that right leg out to your side. Extend the left arm as well to counterbalance the body here. Now draw that right knee back to center. Take hold of your left hand to the right knee this time. And then bring your right hand behind you any amount as you lift the chest. Release that left foot on down. Hands come to the hips and be here for a moment. And inhale, lift the chest up. And exhale, floating on down. Take the hands, grab hold of the big toe mounds and lift the chest on up. Now take your right hand, bring it to your right hip, and bend your left knee as you draw it into the chest. See that the left knee comes into neutral. Extend the left leg on forward. Draw the shoulder back as you lift the chest and breathe here. And then from here, you'll glide that knee in, and you'll glide the left leg out to the side. And as you feel ready, extend the right arm out to your side as well. And draw that knee in again. And take the right knee into the center chest. And as you exhale, open up the chest as you open the left leg out, or left arm out behind you. Release that foot down towards the mat. And breathe here as you lengthen across the chest. Spread across the fingers, spread across the toes, and see that you're lengthening up through the chest. Inhale, float those arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinging on down to the mat. Inhale, lengthening halfway. And as you exhale, hands come to the mat. Walk the feet on back. And downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, lower the knees down. One more time, interlace the fingers here. As you interlace the fingers, walk the left leg back, walk the right leg back. Press back through those heels, lengthen across the chest, and breathe here. And then from here, turn both feet over to the right and draw the hips back. Hug the belly in, press down through the wrists, forearms, and the fingers. You'll come back to center once again and draw the feet over the other side. And breathe here as you lengthen those hips on back and take the chest on forward. And one more time, come back to center here and walk the feet on in. And once again, find your way into a downward facing dog variation pose. Lower the knees on down. Press down through the fingers to inhale, lift the chest. And as you exhale, press the thighs back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, walk the feet in. Inhale, lift up halfway. And as you exhale, lower the hands down to the mat and breathe here. Take the hands to the hips, interlace the fingers, draw the fingers on up. Inhale, lengthen the chest, and come back to standing. All right, so as we come to standing here, spread across the fingers. Inhale, lift the chest on up. And breathe here as you continue to lengthen up through the sides of the body. Good. Now take the left hand, place it on top of the head, and release the left hand to the left ear to the left shoulder. Come back to center once again, and release the right ear to the right shoulder. Come back to center again. Interlace the fingers back behind you. Lift up through the chest, heart, and sternum. As you exhale, forward fold. Wrap your outer armpits in. Breathe here as you lengthen your chest forward. Inhale, float your chest on up and take your arms out to your sides. Interlace your fingers in front of you. Press your palms forward. Raise the arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, glide the arms over to your right side and press down through your feet. Inhale back to center once again. Exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center again. This time, step the feet wide apart. Turn the feet over to the right and step the left foot out to the left. See that both of your feet are facing the front of the mat. Bend your right knee deeply here and lifting across your chest. Inhale, float your left arm up towards the ceiling, and exhale, straightening through that right leg. Inhale, floating both arms up towards the ceiling and straightening through those legs. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling and straightening across the legs. One more time, floating those arms up and breathing here as you interlace the fingers. Straightening across the right leg and taking the hands to the hips. Spinning your right leg in, spinning your left foot out, bending deeply into that left knee as you float your arms up again. And then as you feel ready here, straighten across that left leg this time and bend deeply into the left knee as you breathe here and extend. One more time, straightening through that left leg. One more time, bending through that knee. And as you feel ready here, continue to hold and breathe. Straighten across the left leg. Turn your feet in and step your feet back together. See that the palms are open here. See that the chest is lifted. Interlace the fingers at the center chest. Press your palms forward in front of you. Raise your arms up towards the ceiling here as you lengthen through the chest. And as you exhale, interlace those fingers behind the back. Pull the fingers, elbows back to the back of the room. And as you exhale, hinge on forward and take the arms up and over your head. And breathe here as you lengthen across the center of your chest. Good. Inhale, lifting the chest on up and taking the arms back out to your sides. And then as you feel ready, breathing here and releasing the hands on down. Good. All right. So from here, we're going to find our way back onto our mats and we're going to come back into downward facing dog. And as you take downward facing dog, just begin to press through the hands and the feet. You're going to take your right foot once again and you're going to step your right foot to the hands. You're going to release the left knee down all the way to the mat. Now take bring both hands inside of the leg and release the head down towards the mat once again. Now take your right hand, draw it underneath your right shoulder here, or your right thigh here, and then take your right hand up and bend the right elbow and bring it back behind you. So now if you'd like, you can grab hold of both hands behind the back and lengthen through the sharp chest and sternum here as you press through the left foot. Maybe straighten across that left leg as you draw that right outer hip in. Now release the hands down, step the right leg back and come into downward facing dog. So let's do that on the other side. Step the left foot forward, release the right knee down. Hands come inside of the left leg and draw the left outer knee in. Bend the left elbow. Take the left hand, bring it back behind you. Take the right hand, bring it back behind you as well as lift the chest. Now press the right toes down, firm the left hip in, and press through the right heel. Lengthen through the chest, heart, and sternum as you press through that right heel. Good, breathe here. And as you exhale, release those hands on down. Step the left leg back, downward facing dog pose. Lower the knees down to the mat and slide your legs out in front of you. So now as you slide your legs out in front of you, take the right knee and hug it in. And then take your right foot, place it over the top of your left thigh. Now take your left hand, grab hold of your left shin, grab hold of your right shin and place your right hand back behind you. And begin to revolve here as you flex across both feet. So see that the chest is hugging, see that the belly's hugging in. See that you're revolving into the chest. And continue to rotate your head over your right shoulder. And back to center once again. And draw that left knee on in. The left foot comes over the top of the right thigh, and you place the left palm back behind you. Flex across the right foot. Press down through the left toes. Inhale, lift the chest on up, and rotate your torso over to your left. So as you breathe here, continue to lengthen the chest. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen both the chest, the heart, the sternum. Okay, so we're going to extend the left leg forward again, bring the right knee into a bend, and take the right foot this time and place it over top of the left thigh. Lean the chest forward, and grab hold of the foot. And then as you breathe here, release the head down and keep lifting those elbows on up. And breathe here. And continue to release on down. And breathe. And continue to release on down. Now take that right leg, extend the right leg over and draw the left knee to a bend. Take the left thigh, cross it over the right leg and do a forward fold here. Release the head down, close the eyes and breathe into the body. And as you exhale, lower that head down and breathe here. Good. And then as you inhale, come back up. Extend the left leg forward in front of you. Draw the hips forward, hug the knees in, and breathe here as you lower on down. Take your hands, place them back behind your head, and bring both knees to a bend. And then just lift your chest, heart, and sternum up, and then draw your shoulders on down. Lift your chest, heart, and sternum up, and draw your shoulders on down. Lifting up here, and drawing on down. Lifting up here, and drawing on down. Lifting up, and drawing on down. Lifting up, and drawing on down. Good. So now take the feet down to the mat, cross the left leg over the right. Walk the feet over from right to left and release the legs over towards the right side. See that the arms are extended out to your sides. Open the chest here. And breathe as you press your left hip away from you as you lift the chest on out. Continue to breathe here. And release. And then take your knees back to center. Uncross your legs. Scoot over the other side. Cross the legs again. And then release your legs on down. Breathe here as you begin to cross those legs. And release the head on down. And continue to breathe into the chest, the heart, the sternum. And then from here, you're going to come back to center with those legs. And as you come back to center with those legs, you'll hug the knees into the chest again. Lift the legs up towards the ceiling. Raise the arms up. Lower the right leg down. Inhale, lift the right leg on out. Lower the left leg down. Inhale, lift the left leg on out. Right leg lowers down. Right leg lifts on up. Left leg lowers down. Left leg lowers on up. Right leg down. Right leg up. Left leg down, left leg up. Hug those knees into the chest, take the feet down to the mat. Press down through the feet, interlace the fingers, and draw the shoulders underneath you. Press down through the feet, wrap your outer armpits in, and breathe here as you lift through the chest. Lifting through the chest, the heart, the sternum. And as you exhale, lower the pelvis on down and take the arms out to the sides. So breathe here as you draw the right foot back to center, cross the left leg over top, scoot the hips over to the left, and release the knees over to the right. Take the right hand, place it on top of the left thigh, and breathe here. So one more time we come into this twisting stretch. And then come back to center, uncross the legs, and scoot the hips over to the other side. Recross the legs, lower the legs on down, and breathe to the other side. And then come back to center once again. Uncross the legs here. Take your hands, bring them down to the mat, hug on to the outer edges of the mat. Roll your left shoulder under, roll your right shoulder under, and press the chest up. Interlace the fingers here, press your palms down, and wrap your outer thighs in. And breathe here as you lift up through the center chest, the heart, the sternum. And then as you exhale, lower that pelvis all the way down. And breathe. Good, and as you feel ready here, you're going to press down through your feet again. You're going to interlace your fingers under your back one more time and lift the chest on up. It's called bridge pose. We take it a couple times just to begin to open the chest. And then as you exhale, you'll lower on down and you'll release the pelvis all the way down. Now take your hands, bring your hands to blocks, place your feet together, your knees apart, and breathe into your hips. And as you feel ready, take your legs forward in front of you. Release the arms out to the sides. Turn the palms to the ceiling. And breathe here as you lift through the center chest. As you exhale, release all the way down. And then as you feel ready, bend both knees, roll the legs over onto your side, press your way on up, and find your way into a seated position. So as you find your way into a seated position, cross the legs and allow the breath to be long and slow here. Take the hands into the center chest and exhale, release the chin towards the chest. Namaste, yogis. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. So as you feel ready, thank you guys so much. Once again, my name is Jason Gorenstein. The class that you just took today is our Vinyasa flow all levels practice. So as you feel ready here, just beginning to find your way back to your body, find your way back to yourself. It has been a pleasure, it's been an honor, it's been a privilege to be able to share these practices with you all. So I wish all of you a wonderful day today, and I say this as I close the class. My friends, be well and be happy and have a wonderful day. Namaste, you guys. Thank you so much.